Okay, so let's go on to another professor, Professor Pat Naidoo, who comes from ESCOM, many, many years, I think over 35, 40 years, rose to the ranks of being an executive board member at ESCOM, and also an electrical engineer by background, profession, training, lots of practical experience, now playing a key role in the training and development side at tertiary level at different universities, but I think at UJ is a professor of practice, part of the Industrial Advisory Board, and so it gives me great pleasure to hand over to Prof. Pat Naidoo, who's probably got a unique approach to future-proofing. So Pat, let me not steal your thunder and hand over to you. I'm told that you're somewhere in the South Coast, along the beach there, but I'm told you're back in four walls, beaming this presentation. So over to you, Prof. Naidoo.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, colleagues, and thank you for the opportunity to share with you some of my experiences. I'm always of the view that the customer is the purpose of business. The customer expectations is very clear: 100% availability, zero disturbances, zero incidents, zero accidents, and delivery of product and service at world's lowest cost. So for today's case study, I'm going to share with you a parallel with that of food security, also with that of water security. And I'm going to share with you the case study of the Joburg fresh produce market. And I picked up this experience during my role as non-executive director, 2016 to 2021, with the City of Johannesburg, in my role as the City of Johannesburg Research Chair, based in the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Johannesburg. Colleagues, I want to take you through a few slides, and with compliments, acknowledgement to both the University of Johannesburg and the City of Johannesburg Joburg market. The key question is, how can we rapidly reset our thinking, given the changing environment that we are in? And in so doing, can we provide energy security for all? And I want to look at the parallel to that of the market itself, the fresh produce market. And the potential answer lies in this space of Internet of Things, big data, as Prof. Vickers has alluded to, markets and cash flows. And we're always of the view that cash is king. How can we collate all the energy resources, submit them to the market for pricing, for trading? And there's the view of Adam Smith that the markets will balance, the markets will deliver choice and satisfaction, and there will be transparency and potential for greater investment. The Joburg fresh produce market hosts competitive and bilateral platforms for the trading of fresh produce, fruits and vegetables. And this takes place right across South Africa and SADC. Consists of financial and physical products and services. Why the Joburg market? And this similarity came to me when I exercise my non-executive duties at the market itself. I saw this deep similarity to the power pools, the Southern African power pool, the energy, and we're also extending this conversation to the water pools. There's a very effective distribution and utilization of the resource. The platform has been established, owned, and managed by government, by the public sector. And the results that have emanated from this operation: security of fresh produce, delivered affordably, delivered at quality, delivered at customer satisfaction. And again, we find that in this whole operation, there's a lot of capital, a lot of investments have come through in the complete value stream, from the farms to the transport to the distribution channels, the processing and the beneficiation thereof. The market established in late 1800s has survived the test of time. Financial success, extreme high liquidity, extreme stable business, very much low risk, but again, I would like to use the word shared risk. Yes, risk exists in all ventures, but the risks are shared. They're distributed amongst the various stakeholders. There's space for the mega farmers to play in, there's space for the small farmers to play in. And again, it serves the entire community in terms of its delivery of food security. There's industry development, employment, and economic development, all captured in one. And just for noting that Joburg market currently manages just over 50% of all the fresh produce grown right across South Africa. And this has now become the gateway for both South African and Southern African customers to achieve their security of food supply. The turnover at the market has grown steadily over time. It is now approaching almost 10 billion rands in annual turnover. And again, in terms of its operation, the market does not own the fresh produce, nor does the market own the trucks or the distribution networks, nor does it take any part on the ownership, accountability, or responsibility for capital, for debt, for operating cash, whatsoever, in terms of its operations. Daily, it takes the share of trade as the market commission. I recall the date in 17 December 2020, the market experienced 47 million rands in cash, no credit card, pure cash turnover. The annual turnover is now approaching 10 billion rands, and the commission to the city approaching 5.5 billion rands, 500 million. So the similarity I would like to draw across to the energy sector. We're seeing globally, and not just South Africa, the demise of the supply of last resort, the emergence of markets. There's prices given for energy, there's prices given for ancillary services that captures all the requirements for stable electricity transmission and distribution. There's also the emergence of multiple energy carriers, electricity, gas, hydrogen. There's also the deepening of the nexus within the sustainable development agenda, that of energy, water, food, waste, they all are coming together. And again, the market is providing this sort of platform, bilateral, competitive, physical, and financial. And it's all sort of technology driven, whereby the confluence of physical, biological, and technological factors are all coming together. So the energy security and the demise of the natural monopoly, I would like to quote you a great example, and we've experienced this example from the People's Republic of China. I met with State Power in mid-90s, and I was very much part of the first visit to State Power from ESCOM. Very dark, gloomy, dingy place. But you go to State of Power as in China today, world class. Then they devolved themselves into the State Grid Corporation. They developed another transmission company called China Southern, the State Nuclear, Thermal Power Corporation, the State Public Investment Corporation, etc. And again, they welcomed all primary energy resources, thermal coal, nuclear, natural gas, hydro, wind, solar, the whole lot. Nobody's excluded. And in 1989, they had about 100 gigawatts of capacity. They doubled that in 1995. And today, they're greater than 1,000 gigawatts. Thermal coal still is the bedrock of the generation capacity, followed by hydro, nuclear, wind, solar, etc. And they've set their target date for net zero to be 2060. And I think this gives the Chinese the strength to manage the challenges going forward. And if you look at the numbers in terms of China's growth and development, in terms of energy sent out, absolutely phenomenal. And again, it's supporting a population of just over 1.5 billion citizens. And again, the Chinese have placed right at their center of their vision. Their purpose of business is to serve the citizens. Their purpose of business is to serve the customer. And again, that's how the Chinese model has grown. It consists of bilateral and competitive markets. They also have what they call interprovincial trading, very similar that we have in Southern African Power Pool.
You have 5 minutes left.
And again, the Chinese have given us a way forward. And I think if we follow their example, we'll be able to gain the necessary traction going forward. Thank you, colleagues. I'm done. Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Padayachee. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Prof. Naidoo. Excellent. I like the unique choice of the case study. I mean, you touched on the move from the natural monopoly to a competitive, well, a reasonably competitive environment. I guess the Joburg market scenario is aligned or analogous to the Uber B&B model, but I think highly successful. And the future proofing and the entry of decentralized markets as opposed to centralized markets in the power sector is going to be key going forward. And how do you future-proof that? I think there are some significant learnings in this fresh produce, because if you replace the fresh produce as a commodity with the electron, then we are virtually almost 80 to 90% on the same model, because the Joburg market is also a government-owned parastatal. And it's one of the most successful markets. I mean, it's 123 years old. So I know you and I had a chat along about this, about incorporating some learnings there into the power sector. And I think there are definite learnings. It's a business where you don't own the ingredients. You don't own the raw materials, but you still make your, I don't want to say profit because it's government, you make your surpluses on it. So I like the case study. I think most other people would. And I think there's significant learnings, especially moving away from a monopolistic environment going forward. Okay, we'll get back to you with some questions, I'm sure, later on. But thank you for that.